What is going on, guys? It is Doubtfull here with another Rek'sai guide video. This time it's going to be on team fighting. Now, this video is going to be all clips from a Challenger game that I just played today. Actually, I believe just about everyone in this game is Challenger. Maybe my Blitzcrank is not. But other than that, everyone's Challenger, so this is a very high-level gameplay. Your team fights aren't going to look exactly maybe as clean as these, but they should be similar, and you should be able to learn. You should be able to pick up a few things from what I do. I'm just going to give you things that you should be thinking about when you go into these team fights, and what to look out for, how to use your abilities, and things like that. I am going to show you the beginning of this game, which is not going to be necessarily about team fighting, but part of team fighting is making sure that you're a high enough level and you have enough gold to actually be able to team fight. So I guess I figured it would probably be worth it, especially just for the sake of understanding what's really going on in this game, to see these early kills and how the game gets to be where it goes. I thought that would be interesting for you. So in this game, I believe my game plan was just a hard camp Irelia. It is Solar Baka in the top lane on Irelia. He tends to play a little bit aggressive on Irelia, and honestly, he kind of runs it down sometimes. He has very good mechanics, but I don't think he has the best decision making with that champion. So I'm focusing top. That's why I started bot lane. Here, I see the Zed Shadow. It's pretty perfect. So I go for this. I shoot the Burrowed Q first to get the Fury stack, and I flash before it lands, and we get that. It helps me get the 100 Fury faster, so I can E him before he can flash out. Now here, this is actually a little bit later. We're 6 minutes into the game now, and I'm going top lane because I see them fighting. I just tunnel over and throw out this Q. Get that kill for Darius, which is nice. I definitely don't think he was going to get that without my Q there. So far we've already impacted both lanes. It's 0-4, and Hecarim's not done anything yet. Here we're looking top again because we're pretty sure there is no ward. I actually thought I really had no flash. I don't know why she didn't flash my Q earlier. But he tries to turn it on us 1v2, and fortunately I'm able to get him here. Another snipe there. So we're already 2-0-1. We've got 50 CS at 8 minutes. We've been very efficient with our time. Hecarim is there dying. So we've got a pretty nice lead. You can see I've got 1,400 gold in that base, and I'm able to buy Warrior plus boots. And then I use that gold advantage to get this Herald here, just propelling us further and further ahead of this Hecarim. I see a fight here, but I wanted to finish off the Herald. Fortunately, actually, they trade 1-for-1. Hecarim doesn't get a piece of that. But after his E runs out, he still walks towards me for some reason. We were the same level. Rek'sai can 100-0 Hecarim if he doesn't build, he needs to build, Red Smite and, Cinder Hulk first. Otherwise, you just 100-0 him. If you have a lead like I do, once you have Warrior, you just 100-0 him, especially when his E is down and he can't, full combo you. So then I base, and I want to use my Herald in the bot lane. I could have used it top, actually, but I wanted to use it bot because there was more plates available, and we just got more value out of it this way. So I go bot and hide in the bush and hope something happens. We get a little bit lucky here, but I mean, that's what Soul Q is about, and Blitz gets that flash hook, and a fight happens just like I wanted it to, and we end up taking this full turret, just propelling my gold lead even further this game. Now we're fast forwarding a bit. Starting to get to where things get a little bit more dicey for Rek'sai. It's 7-13 now, so the game's not exactly 100% in the bag for us, especially since a lot of our gold is on me, and Rek'sai, quote-unquote, does not scale well. We just pick up a free kill there. We don't E into the 3 people. Very important to take note of. Here, I'm just watching Pants. Here, it's Pants our Dragon on Veigar, I believe. And once he casts his W and his Q, I go in. It's very important to think about your enemy's cooldowns before you go in on Rek'sai, or just team fighting in general. It's all about keeping track of your enemy's cooldowns. So knowing how they play, what abilities they have is very important. I use a pink ward in this bush, so I'm pretty sure they don't know I'm here. And right now I'm just watching this team fight. Malzahar, they have a Malzahar. He has his ult, so I cannot go in until Malzahar ults. I think a lot of people would just go in here when Malzahar has ults, and they would be like, oh, Rek'sai sucks at team fighting. GG. But we wait for them to actually use their cooldowns on my teammates, and then we're able to kill them all. And we're able to turn a sort of a not great situation into a pretty good one. I believe that fight started off with one of our other carries getting picked. So we're able to get a triple kill there and continue forward. I don't think I actually dodged any abilities with my ult or anything there. Nothing too crazy. It was just waiting for their cooldowns to be down and then going in. And again, I'm crazy fed at this point, which is part of the reason why I'm able to just do that. Here, Pants is kind of just running it down. I make sure I wait for him to cast his W, and then I dodge it. and I ended up using my flash. I don't know if it was worth it to use my flash there. A big important thing about Rek'Sai, team fight with Rek'Sai in the late game, is you really, really, really want your flash up. So I used a flash just to get one kill there, which wasn't super good. I apologize about that noise. That was my client, not yours. I should close my client before I record these videos. I'm going to remember that for the next one. But going forward, I see that they're getting caught, so I immediately back off. I would have 100% died there. Darius did not, unfortunately, do the same thing, and he just walks in and gets himself killed and gives over another shutdown. So that is why this game is kind of as hard as it is. Our bot lane honestly just keeps getting caught this game. I've not showed every instance on here, I believe. But while they're all going down mid, this is, Rek'Sai macro, or general macro. They're all going down mid, which I think was a mistake from them, and we just turn and grab the dragon for free, and this puts us at soul point, which is nice. I used my early lead, again, to secure the dragons and my bot lane pressure. Zed goes in for the fight. Honestly, at this point, I should have just eat over the wall and based. I have a 700 gold shutdown right now, and I also could have just taken that tunnel. There was 2 tunnels I could have taken and just gone the other way. I guess I didn't realize I wasn't keeping track of Malzahar was the problem. That was bad. Me not doing a good job keeping track of the enemy team. I didn't realize there was going to be a Malzahar cutting us off there. So I end up giving over a 700 gold shutdown. And this is going to happen a lot of times. I'm sure if you're watching this video, you play Rek'Sai, you're aware of this. You get a huge shutdown. You get a huge lead, and then you have this huge shutdown, and eventually you're going to die and give it up. It's really important not to die and give it up. Here, I have a really bad... This was a bit bad targeting. I end up getting kind of CC locked by Malzahar R and Pike abilities and and whatnot, and I just die before I can do anything, which is pretty bad. I chose the wrong target there. I could have easily jumped on Pike and 100 to 0'd him, and instead I went for the Malzahar because I knew he was the biggest threat, but that was a huge mistake. I can get that Pike for free, and then we honestly probably hard win it from there. So that was a bit of a targeting issue. It's important to pick the right targets, pay attention to cooldowns, stuff like that. That's one thing I really like about Rek'Sai is I feel like she just has so much agency. Like, whenever I die on Rek'Sai, I always feel like it's my fault. Like, both these deaths that I showed here, I don't show all of my deaths because I don't think they're interesting or there's nothing to learn from them. But usually, generally speaking, there's always something to learn from a Rek'Sai death. There's always something you could have done better. And those 2 deaths certainly were huge mistakes of mine that I could have done better. And there's just always something to improve. Right there, Veigar disrespected me. I was able to barely get away from the Heck Room, and I knew what the Pike wanted to do. I knew he wanted to ult me, so I just stood in the bush and waited for him to get a little bit close enough for me to knock him up. You can do that a lot playing with Vision with Rek'Sai. Here, I land the Q on Irelia, but Malzahar's next to me, so I turn on him, and then he Zhonya's it, and I immediately ult Irelia at the last second of my ult tick on her. So that's something you always want to be aware of, like the different people that you can ult to on Rek'Sai. I think a lot of people don't really do that. They don't pay attention. Like, people just think you're going to ult whoever you're on top of. But yeah, you can just... it's very important to know who you have your ult stacks on is basically what I'm trying to get out here. Because you can use that to dodge abilities, to get away from fights, or to just get on somebody when they don't think you're actually going to go on them. Here is pretty simple. The Veigar was out of position by himself there, or so I thought. So I went over to him. And I ended up getting caught by... Hecarim ulted me, Malzahar ulted me. Even though I only trade 1 for 1 here, it's still really, really good for us because I took multiple enemy ults and I traded 1 for 1. Even though Veigar's not that strong, it's still 100% worth. And I want to say we turned that fight into a Baron pick. So that was another great fight. Just looking for those opportunities. Here is really interesting. Note that I have a GA. I'm level 18 at this point. I E into 4 people and I immediately cast my ult. Whenever you appear onto somebody, whether you're playing Kha'Zix or Rek'Sai or anybody, they're pretty much always going to use their abilities right away. Results may vary by MMR, but generally speaking, if I E onto 4 people, they're all going to cast their abilities right away. So what I do, I don't try to full combo anybody. I just immediately ult, and I'm able to dodge some abilities and take their pressure. I also have GA, so even if Malzahar does ult me immediately instead of casting E and then ulting, I still can survive and buy time for my team to get to me. And you might want to rewatch these fights. I think they're really interesting. I think it's really good information about how to do stuff, how to play Rek'Sai in the late game, team fighting, and stuff like that. You can see it's basically just keeping track of the enemy team's cooldowns and whatnot, and yeah, just using your ult to dodge abilities, focusing primary targets when they're out of position. You basically just have to be creative. You can't just go in and expect to kill people, essentially, is what it comes down to. It takes a little bit more creativity than that, but yeah, so right there we just ult to cause some mayhem and panic amongst the enemy team, and my team can go in while I'm going in. We didn't really get too much for it, but I think it was fine. And then here I just suicide for the kill. So yeah, that is how I play Rek'Sai team fighting in the late game. The big thing I want to go over, because I know that this was a very short video, but the big things that I want to go over are just keeping track of the enemy cooldowns, understanding what they want to do, keeping track of who you can ult, because you don't have to ult just the person you're on. You can ult on people that you smite or that maybe you burrow queued earlier, and see, I think that was pretty much it. Those were the main things. So if you guys have any questions, please let me know. And yeah, just leave them in the comments, and I'll make sure I answer. I'm gonna be uploading some different gameplay right now. I know I've mostly been uploading Rek'Sai gameplay, but there's other stuff coming. I promise. This channel, we are getting it off the ground this week. I'm very excited about that. So please like this video, subscribe if you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one.